Have you ever wondered about the life of Humayun, the second Mughal emperor? As we delve into the annals of history, we find a figure both enigmatic and intriguing. Nasir-ud-Din Muhammad, better known as Humayun, was born in the year 1506 in the heart of Kabul, Afghanistan. His parents, Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, and his mother, Maham Begum, were part of a lineage that traced its roots back to the great Genghis Khan and Timur the Lame. Humayun's early life was shaped by the tumultuous nature of the time. His father Babur was a conqueror at heart, constantly moving, warring, and expanding his empire. This nomadic lifestyle undoubtedly had a profound impact on young Humayun, who grew up in an environment that was a blend of cultures, languages, and traditions. It was a melting pot where Persian influence met the indigenous Indian culture, creating a unique fusion that would later be reflected in Humayun's reign. Education was a significant part of Humayun's upbringing. He was taught to read and write in Turkish, Persian, and Arabic, the languages of the court. He was also trained in martial arts, strategy, and diplomacy, all necessary skills for a future emperor. But it wasn't just about warfare and politics. In true Mughal tradition, Humayun was also exposed to arts, literature, and music, fostering in him a deep appreciation for these finer aspects of life. Even as a child, Humayun showed signs of a keen intellect and curiosity. He was known to be a quick learner, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. It was this thirst for knowledge and understanding that would later shape his rule and influence his decisions as an emperor. The early life of Humayun, filled with learning, exploration, and exposure to a variety of cultures and traditions, laid the foundation for the man he would become. A man of contradictions, Humayun was a warrior and a scholar, a ruler and a patron of arts. This was just the dawn of a life that was destined for greatness and despair, triumph and defeat. When Humayun was just 23 years old, he found himself thrust upon the throne of an empire. The ascension of Humayun to the throne was an event that would shape the course of Mughal history. The son of Babur, the founder of the Mughal dynasty, Humayun inherited not just an empire, but a legacy of leadership. Yet, his path to the throne was not without its trials. In the beginning, Humayun faced many challenges. His reign was marked by internal conflicts and external threats. He had to contend with rebellious nobles and ambitious brothers, each vying for their piece of power. Outside the empire, rival kingdoms eyed his throne with envy and anticipation. Despite these challenges, Humayun was able to consolidate his power. His first major achievement was the successful quelling of a rebellion led by his brother, Kamran. Though the struggle was fierce, Humayun's strategic mind and military prowess proved victorious. Following this victory, Humayun turned his attention to expanding his empire. He launched a series of successful military campaigns, bringing vast territories under his rule. His dominion extended across northern India, touching the borders of modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan. Yet, his ascendancy was not solely marked by military conquests. Humayun was also a keen administrator. He undertook significant reforms to streamline the administration of his empire. He improved the tax system, established fair laws, and promoted trade and commerce. Humayun's early reign was also characterized by his commitment to justice and fairness. He was known for his wisdom and his ability to make balanced decisions, even in the most complex of situations. His rule was not a tyranny, but a reign marked by fairness and a deep respect for the rule of law. But Humayun's early achievements were not just the result of his own efforts. His success was a testament to the strength of the Mughal dynasty, a legacy that he had inherited from his father Babur. Yet, the trials of his reign were far from over. Despite his early successes, Humayun's journey as a ruler was far from smooth. The challenges he faced were many, and the path to consolidating his empire was fraught with obstacles. But that's a story for another time. Humayun was not just a ruler, but also a great patron of the arts. Intriguingly, this Mughal emperor was as passionate about the world of arts as he was about the affairs of his empire. A man of refined tastes and an enlightened mind, Humāyūn held an unwavering commitment to the promotion of culture, literature, and architecture during his reign. His love for the arts was no passing fancy. It was a deep-seated interest that culminated in significant contributions to the cultural landscape of his time. Humayun's reign marked a period of artistic revolution where creativity was not just encouraged but celebrated. One of his most remarkable contributions was the establishment of libraries. Yes, you heard it right, libraries. Humayun was a voracious reader. His thirst for knowledge was insatiable. He believed in the power of the written word and its ability to enlighten minds. His libraries were treasure troves of knowledge, stocked with manuscripts and books from all around the world. These libraries served as the epicenters of intellectual discourse and scholarly pursuits, attracting scholars and thinkers from far and wide. Humayun's patronage extended beyond the written word. He had an eye for talent and was instrumental in fostering a thriving community of artists. He recognized and nurtured the potential of many artists, providing them with the resources and the platform to create and showcase their masterpieces. His court was a hub of artistic brilliance, a place where creativity flourished under his encouraging gaze. But his love for the arts was not confined to his court. It was reflected in the architectural marvels that were built during his reign. Humayun's passion for architecture led to the construction of several magnificent structures that still stand as testaments to his vision and aesthetic sensibilities. His architectural innovations set the stage for the distinct Mughal style of architecture that would follow in the years to come. Humayun's reign was not just about political power or territorial conquests. It was a time of cultural renaissance, a period that saw the flourishing of arts, literature, and architecture. His legacy in the world of arts is as significant as his reign. Behind the emperor, there was a man with his own secrets and personal life. Humayun, the second Mughal emperor, was not just a ruler, but also a husband, a father, and a man with his own personal joys, sorrows, and secrets. Humayun was a man of many passions and interests, but perhaps the most intriguing part of his personal life were his marriages. He was married to several women throughout his life, but his chief consort was Bega Begum, also known as Haji Begum. Their union was not just a political alliance, but also a love match that produced two sons, including the future emperor, Akbar the Great. Humayun's other wives, many of whom were princesses from prominent families, also played significant roles in his life and reign. They were influential figures at the Mughal court, shaping policies and politics. Yet, they also provided Humayun with a sense of comfort and companionship in his often tumultuous life. Speaking of companionship, it's important to mention Humayun's children. His sons and daughters were his pride and joy. The most famous of them all, Akbar, was not merely an heir, but a confidant and a friend. Their relationship was not just that of a father and son, but also of two rulers, two strategists who learned from and supported each other. Delving deeper into the less explored aspects of Humayun's personal life, we find a man who was a lover of poetry and music. He had a soft spot for the arts, which he indulged in his private life, away from the gaze of the court and his subjects. He was known to spend his leisure hours engrossed in poetry sessions or lost in the melodies of music. Humayun's personal life, filled with love, family, and a passion for arts, was a stark contrast to his public image as a ruler. This duality only adds to the enigma of this Mughal emperor. These personal aspects shaped Humayun as much as his political life. They made him more than just an emperor. They made him a man of depth, a man of emotions, a man of complexities. A man, after all, is a sum of all his parts, and Humayun was no exception. As with all great rulers, Humayun's era had to come to an end. Humayun's rule, a tapestry woven with threads of art, culture, war, and personal triumphs, gradually faded into the annals of history. The end of his era came abruptly on a fateful day in January 1556. Following his usual habit of gazing at the stars from his library's rooftop, he tumbled down the stairs, succumbing to his injuries just 3 days later. A sudden fall, metaphorically echoing the ups and downs of his reign, marked the end of this Mughal ruler's journey. The immediate aftermath of Humayun's death was a period of uncertainty, but the Mughal Empire did not crumble. His son Akbar ascended the throne, and despite being a young boy of 13, he was able to consolidate power and usher in a golden age of the Mughal Empire. Humayun's legacy lived on, not just in his son, but also in the cultural and architectural wonders he left behind. Today, Humayun's memory is etched in stone, quite literally, in the form of his magnificent tomb in Delhi. This architectural marvel, a precursor to the Taj Mahal, stands as a testament to his love for art and architecture. The tomb, with its majestic gardens and intricate designs, is a reminder of the grandeur of Humayun's era. Moreover, Humayun's contributions to art and culture are remembered and celebrated. He was a patron of the arts who nurtured talent and encouraged creativity. His court was a hub of intellectual and artistic activity, attracting scholars and artists from far and wide. Humayun was much more than a ruler. He was a lover of art, a patron of culture, a visionary, and a complex character with a life story that mirrors the tumultuous times he lived in. He was a man who left an indelible mark on the pages of history, not just as a ruler, but also as a significant contributor to the rich tapestry of Indian culture and heritage. Thus ended the reign of a ruler who was as complex as the era he ruled in.